Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Angel Room, a sacred space for spiritual seekers, light workers, and those guided by the whispers of the unseen. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. In this episode, we're diving into a fascinating and mystical topic, which is premonitions and how to have them. Have you ever just known something before it happened? Had a dream that later played out in real life? Or maybe had a feeling in your gut that you couldn't explain and it turned out to be right? These are premonitions, gentle nudges. They can be from spirit, your angels, your higher self, from God, that offer a glimpse into what's ahead. And today we're going to explore what they are, how they work, and how you can become more open to receiving them. So grab your tea, take a deep breath, and settle into this sacred moment with me. What is a premonition? It's a sense or knowing of a future event before it happens. It can come as a feeling, a vision, a dream, a sudden thought, or even a physical sensation. Premonitions are not just stuff of legend in Hollywood films. They're real, and many people experience them, often without even realizing it. I've had premonitions for my whole life, both waking and sleeping, and the same is true for some of my friends and people I know in the spiritual community. It's not that unusual. Premonitions are one of the ways spirit gently speaks to us. Your angels, guides, God, your higher self, they want you to be prepared, protected, and empowered. And when the timing is aligned, you might get a little peek ahead. Sometimes it's a warning, other times it's reassurance, and sometimes it's simply guidance to steer your path. I'm going to share with you some real life premonition experiences, and maybe you'll recognize a little of yourself in these. One listener, Mariah, wrote to me about a dream she had. In the dream, she saw herself being offered a job by a man with glasses in a bright blue office. She woke up feeling confused. She hadn't even applied anywhere. And a week later, she was contacted by a recruiter out of the blue. You guessed it. The interview was with a man wearing glasses in a bright blue office. And yes, she got the job. One of my clients, we're going to call him Thomas, shared that he had a strong feeling not to take a certain highway on his commute one morning. He said it didn't make sense because it was the fastest route, but the feeling was so strong he took a different way. And later he found out there had been a major accident on that very highway at the exact time he would have been there. Lena, a retired teacher, was baking cookies when she suddenly caught the strong scent of burning wires, but nothing was smoking and all her appliances were fine. The smell lingered in her senses even after she left the kitchen. Feeling uneasy, she decided to check on her elderly neighbor who hadn't been answering phone calls. And when she knocked, she got no response, so she called 911. Firefighters found that an electrical short in her neighbor's wall heater had just started smoldering behind the drywall. That smell Lena sensed wasn't coming from her home. It was a premonition of what was about to happen next door, and she likely saved her neighbor's life. Darren, a business traveler, had just booked a red-eye flight for an important meeting, but the night before his trip, he had an overwhelming urge to cancel and rebook. He couldn't explain it. He wasn't sick, the weather was clear, and the meeting was still on. But something inside him said, "Don't get on that flight." He listened. The flight he was supposed to take had severe mechanical issues midair and had to make an emergency landing. No one was seriously hurt, but the trauma left many of them shaken. Darren realized the voice inside had protected him from what would have been a deeply distressing experience. Nina's 6-year-old daughter Sophie woke up crying one night, saying she had a dream that their dog Max fell into a lake and couldn't get out. The dream shook her deeply, even though they didn't live near any body of water. A few days later, they went to visit friends who lived near a small lake. While everyone was inside, Max, the dog, wandered down towards the dock. Sophie suddenly ran outside yelling, Max, without knowing why. They found him right at the edge, paws slipping, moments from falling in. Sophie's dream had been a premonition, and her instinct in that moment helped prevent what could have been a tragedy. There's another story. Emma had a dream about her best friend Jasmine wearing a specific wedding dress. It had lace sleeves, it was ivory satin, and had a jeweled belt. In the dream, Jasmine looked radiant but kept saying, I almost missed this moment. Emma told Jasmine about the dream, and Jasmine laughed it off. At the time, she wasn't even dating anyone seriously. A year later, Jasmine reconnected with a college friend, fell in love fast, and within months they were planning a wedding. One day, while shopping, she pulled a dress off the rack and froze. It was the exact dress from Emma's dream. She bought it and later told Emma she'd almost talked herself out of reconnecting with her now husband. Emma's dream had been a gentle nudge from the universe, months in advance, preparing both of them for a destined moment. These are not coincidences, they're soul signals, premonitions. And because I did mention to you that these premonitions can also come from angels, I wanted to share a couple of real life stories with you that do involve angelic premonitions. Monica was rushing one morning late for work and frustrated. And as she reached for her car keys, she suddenly felt this gentle pressure on her shoulder, like just a soft hand urging her to pause. Then she heard this low whisper in her heart, wait 5 minutes. It was so clear and calming that she listened. She stood by the window, sipping her coffee, unsure why she was delaying. A few minutes later, she left, only to pass a major car accident just a few blocks from her home. The accident had happened around the time she normally would have been passing through that intersection. She later told her spiritual mentor, it felt like my angel was standing behind me, guiding me with love, and I know I was being protected. James had been visiting his mother in the hospital daily while she recovered from surgery. One evening, as he left her room, he clearly heard a gentle female voice say, Turn back. He stopped in his tracks. No one was in the hallway, but the voice had been unmistakable, filled with light and urgency. Trusting the experience, James returned to his mother's room just as her monitor began beeping rapidly. Her oxygen levels were dropping. He quickly called for help, and a nurse rushed in and stabilized her. Later, a spiritual healer confirmed what James already sensed. It had been his mother's guardian angel alerting him, and that voice had likely saved her life. Now, you might be wondering, how do these premonitions show up? How can you recognize them? Here are some of the most common ways. Number one is dreams. Remember, we're most open to messages receiving when we sleep. Dreams are a powerful and often overlooked source of premonitions. Because the logical mind is at rest, your intuitive mind has more room to speak. Keep a dream journal and review it weekly. You'll be amazed at the patterns that emerge. It can be sudden, vivid thoughts. You might think of someone you haven't seen in years and later run into them, or suddenly feel a strong urge to call someone only to find they needed you in that moment. Next is body sensations. Could be goosebumps, tightness in the stomach, or a racing heart, sometimes accompany a premonition. Your body is wise. It often speaks before your mind catches up. Next, recurring signs or symbols. Seeing angel numbers, which are repeating numbers of 3 or 4 digits, seeing animals or words repeatedly, can be a sign something is about to shift. Pay attention. It can be an inner knowing because sometimes you just know. There's no logic or explanation for how you know, but something inside you is calmly certain. Premonitions aren't always dramatic or loud. They're usually quiet, subtle, and gentle, like a feather brushing your cheek. So, reasons why you might be blocking premonitions. Um, Most of us can receive premonitions, but Many of us are unintentionally tuned out. Some common blocks include overthinking. Premonitions come from intuition, not analysis. I have a problem with this. I'm very analytical, very logical. So if you're always in your head, you're likely missing the signals. If I could overcome that, so can you. Next is fear. If you're afraid of what you might see or know, your subconscious will shut down these premonition messages. They don't want you to be scared. They'll wait till you're ready when it won't scare you. Next, distraction. Constant busyness or screen time can make it hard to hear the soft voice of spirit. Just like all other communication of divine sort, you have to have quiet contemplative time to receive it. Doubt. If you dismiss everything as coincidence or imagination, you're telling the universe not to bother trying to give you a premonition. But here's the good news. You can change this. You can clear the path and start receiving. And it all begins with intention. So let's go over some ways that you can invite more premonitions into your life or invite them for the first time ever. Set the intention. Before bed or during meditation, say, I am open to divine insight. I welcome premonitions that serve my highest good. Keep a journal. Write down dreams, your gut feelings, odd coincidences. This creates a pattern of awareness and respect. I find this particularly helpful as often my premonition dreams do not play out in real life for a while. Journaling gives me something I can look back on, see exactly what I saw or dreamed, and any details that were presented. Then I compare them to what unfolded in real life. But to help you with this, remember to make note of the date and the time you received the premonition. Practice quiet. Spend at least 10 minutes a day in stillness. If you want to receive, you need to make yourself a good receiver. Listen to the sounds around you. Feel your breath. This opens the intuitive channels. If your mind is always active, if you're always listening to music or watching TV or talking, you will have difficulty receiving premonitions. Like other spiritual input, it requires contemplative, reflective, quiet time. I'm repeating this because it's that important. You can use divination tools if you like. You can use a pendulum or angel cards to help you strengthen your intuitive muscle. Ask about the near future and see what comes up. I think it's good to ask about in the morning, what can I expect this day to bring or this week to bring? Work with your angels. There's an obvious one. Angels are powerful messengers of insight. Ask them to help you recognize signs and symbols. Archangel Raziel is especially connected to spiritual insight and intuitive abilities. I did a whole episode of the Angel Room on Archangel Raziel, which you can look up and learn invocations to call him in and anything that might help you with that process. Remember that you can get a yes, no, or maybe answers from your angels. First, you need to ask them to let you feel what each of those feels like to you. Make note of it. It gives you a great way to get angelic input if you do not yet hear your angels talking to you. Trust your first impression. That first thought or feeling is often the most accurate. Don't second guess it. Intuition is fast, logic is slow. If your intuition tells you turn left, then do it. Your logic might say, but that will take me 10 minutes longer to get to my destination. You are getting this intuitive message for a reason. Go with it. Next is cleanse your energy. Spiritual clutter can fog your clarity. You can use sage, essential oils, sound bowls, or salt baths to keep your energy field clear. I'm going to give you now a simple guided exercise to help open your intuition so you can receive premonitions. Do not attempt this while driving. You can come back to this segment later and try it then. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And now release it slowly through your mouth. Visualize a beautiful golden light right above your head. This is your divine connection. your spiritual antenna. Imagine this light opening gently like a flower blooming. It begins to pour warm golden light down into your body, filling your crown chakra, your third eye, your heart. Now say silently or aloud, I am open to sacred insight. I receive what is meant for me. I trust the divine timing of all things. Feel a sense of peace wash over you. You are safe. You are guided. You are loved. Take another deep breath, and when you're ready, gently return your awareness to the room you're in. I want to leave you with this. You do not have to be an intuitive to have premonitions. You are a soul. You're already connected. This is your natural ability, something God gives us. It just needs remembering. Premonitions are not about fear. They're about preparedness, peace, and partnership with the divine. And as you open more to these sacred insights, trust that your angels are near. They want to guide you. They want to whisper to your soul. And all you have to do is listen. I'll close with an angelic message that came through for today's episode. Beloved one, you are never alone in the unknown. We walk beside you always, gently lighting the path ahead. When you quiet the world, you will hear our song. And in that song are the truths your soul already knows. Thank you so much for joining me today in the Angel Room. If this episode spoke to your heart, please share it with a friend, like it, subscribe, leave a review, or connect with me on social media. I'd love to hear your stories of premonitions and angelic guidance. Join me next Sunday when the topic is Give Yourself a Spiritual Reset. Until next time, may your path be lit with love, may your heart be open to the unseen, and your soul always listening for the whisper of wings. With so much love, I'm Ivory LaNoue, and this has been The Angel Room.